I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy merch.
Hello!
The Used, Bullet for My Valentine, and Ren. So DJ Mark has purchased a stream tonight. He's got 5 songs on the lineup. The first song is from a band. He's got a bunch
of heavy hitters in this. It's all right.
Okay, first...
bunch of heavy hitters. Good God.
First song, maybe you're coming down with something. Hopefully not. A Day to Remember is the name of the band, and the name of the song is called Miracle. And DJ
while
Mark...
we were doing all that talking...
You haven't downloaded
the video.
DJ Mark has not said anything about the song, so I don't know if I believe that there's nothing that he wants to say. So as soon as you have that downloaded, we can get that started. You guys, we've got some interesting stuff coming up. I'm sure Vinny's going to fill you in a little bit more, but it's going to be, you're going to want to be on Patreon, and even the $1 tier is going to be able to be in the know. So, so if you want to know what's going on, there's going to be some mysteries and whatnot. So if you want to be filled in, that's where you got to be.
Yeah. We should probably shoot that commercial today or tomorrow, because it's about to happen. I don't want people to miss out. That I'm going to get a bunch of emails. People like, "Yo, how come you didn't tell us?" Yada yada yada. I'm going to say my bad. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to not tell you, but it won't be good enough for people. So we are going to make a commercial so that you can understand what we're doing. And unfortunately, guys, it's not something we can really release to the general public. So you got to make that a Patreon-only situation, if that makes any sense, dear listener. All right, now that we've got that out of the way... I think we finally have the song down. Nope, I lied to you. Can you please keep talking to the people?
Well, you were.
This is part of show business, man.
Yeah, but you were talking to them. You were giving your commercial, so I was letting you speak. Let the man speak. I didn't want to woman-splain you and then have people come after me.
I don't think that works.
It might. It could.
I don't think that goes one way.
It could. It might go that way.
Well, talk to the people.
Maybe I am. I'm pulling up the live stream. Guys, it's an Ask Me Anything, a random one.
I don't know why.
So
that was on my other computer.
So Slipknot Sean says, I was in my gallery on my phone and I have all these screen recordings of us communicating during streams and got me missing you guys. Oh, well, here we are.
Well, here we are. Here we are.
All right. Vin and Sori, what part of the country are you in? Hello from Las Vegas. We're from Maine. You probably don't know where that is. Picture New York and then go straight up like you're headed to Canada, but right before you get to Canada, you stop. That's Maine.
All right. Good. All right, guys, here you go. Song numero uno, A Day to Remember. What's the name of the title of the song again?
A Day to Remember. Miracle.
Miracle, A Day to Remember. DJ Mark, let's do it right now.
Okay. Yep, Mark, you know. Yep.
If you could only feel the way that I feel.
Okay.
Ready for the war to come my way. I struggle so I know what it takes. The pressure only builds till it breaks. If you could only feel the way that I feel. You might think it's something spiritual, but I'm betting on the right hand right now. To hell with all the someday. Somehow I'm waiting long enough. Waiting long enough. Right here, right now. To hell with all the someday. Somehow I'm waiting long enough. Waiting long enough. You might think it's something spiritual. Why I don't need a fucking miracle. If you could only see the way that I see, you could find the faith to take the leap. It only took one shot to prove I'm not made of glass. With slow pain you can cause it won't eventually pass. If you could only see the way that I see, you'd be betting on the right here, right now. To hell with all the someday. Somehow I'm waiting long enough. Waiting long enough. Right here, right now. To hell with all the someday. Somehow I'm waiting long enough. Waiting long enough. You would think it's something spiritual. Boy, I don't need a fucking miracle. No weapon formed against me shall stronger. Right. You might think it's something spiritual, but I'm betting on the right here, right now. To hell with all the someday. Somehow I'm waiting long enough. Waiting long enough. Right here, right now. To hell with all the someday. Somehow I'm waiting long enough. Waiting long enough. You would think it's something spiritual. Why I don't need a fucking miracle.
Yes, Pinky! Give me that shit, boy! That boy said, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. My will is stronger.
man. Yeah, I said your will is stronger. That's crazy.
I gotta get
I need a fucking miracle.
This sounds like some shit we would write, bro. You gotta get that scripture quoted there like,
No
what?
weapon formed against me shall prosper. My will is stronger.
Our Amazon account account is up and running now. We are selling our formula officially. It's amazing stuff from Europe.
Made in Germany. Sold in America.
Highest standards there are. In America, the standards haven't been updated since 1980. It's super weird, like older than me. In Europe, they update safety standards basically every year. This formula is top notch, great for the stomach, great for constipation. This is a great product. If you happen to want to purchase it and join us on our journey, then grab the link in the description. If you do and leave a review for us, send me a screenshot at vinandsori@gmail.com of your review after you have received the product. We will put your name in a hat. Song reviews are going to come out by some of the people that have left reviews. Don't forget to send us a screenshot of your review once you get the product. Now a word from our mascot dressed as a pirate, Fuji.
It's a deal of a deal.
I want to go and play my guitar right now!
That's a good one.
Right now!
Gosh.
Oh, I love this song.
Ooh, boy.
Where's my phone?
Oh, man. Yeah, we better write that one down.
That's going to be on the playlist.
Yeah.
That'll get us to Georgia.
Oh, shit.
To Georgia.
We need to have a question about the speakers. We should gift ourselves.
Oh, I think you're right.
I think I'm right.
I think you're right. We'll leave it up to the patrons to figure that out. All right, talk to the people.
Okay, this song was ridiculous. Oh my gosh. And it was like right from the start. Right away I started this, immediately loved this song, and it did not dwindle throughout the whole thing. I mean, he was saying like you might think it's something spiritual, so I think he was trying to say like, I feel like he was saying like it's not anything spiritual. Like he's gonna do it right here, right now. He's not waiting for some hope in the future. He's gonna take care of it right now.
Yeah,
and then he says,
he's not waiting on a miracle.
Right, he's not. Yeah, he's not. And, yeah.
That's a famous
man.
passage. No weapon formed against you
me
shall prosper. That's a passage. I think it's Isaiah. So, where it says, "No weapon formed against me will prosper." I grew up hearing that. What about you?
Oh,
Did you grow up hearing that?
Absolutely. Why do you think I was the way I was?
Yeah, you were a
You
were such a
kidding
gangster
me?
back in the day. You would just be like, I don't give a fuck about none of y'all.
I was like, wait, what's happening? But I want to be over there where the crazy stuff's happening.
Yeah, somebody took me aside. It was so funny. Like somebody took me aside one time and they were like, "Hey, I've got a." This is like a very credible, reasonable,
Isaiah 57. You were right.
reasonable person said to be basically. We have some threat that we have intel that there's a Muslim terror cell in this area. So she's like, you just have to be careful, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, really? Oh.
I don't get it.
Well, anyway, I love this song. This is a great song. Say too much. It's a great song.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
yeah, this is the kind of metal I grew up on, man. Like this is the, you know what I'm saying? Like
absolutely.
This is
great.
This is the shit. What was the name of that song again? I'm gonna try to pull up the lyrics.
Miracle. It was literally called Miracle.
Yeah, like that's it. Man. We're definitely gonna be listening to this song in the car.
Oh,
for sure.
100%. 100%.
For sure. I'm going to change up the lyrics a little bit.
Me too. I already did when it was going. I was like,
my will is stronger.
Yeah, that's why I said your will is stronger. Immediately when the song, I was like, that moment was too great to.
That's okay. He doesn't have to be completely orthodox.
Yeah.
All right.
Man, the song was so good though.
All right. So he's obviously talking to somebody.
What year was this? I mean, was this recent? Okay, 2022. Okay.
2022, yeah. Pretty
right.
pretty recent.
Yeah.
That's crazy that like a new metal type song can still bang in this. Like we need to get our fucking music out. Honestly, like I feel like we could compete with some of these.
I think so.
Especially like if you like really like find that thing and let loose, man.
I
that
think
shit.
So.
River is home. Okay, I can breathe now. All right, River's home safe. We're good. Okay. If you could only feel the way that I feel, ready for the war to come my way. Yeah, I struggled, so I know what it takes. The pressure only builds till it breaks. If you could only feel the way that I feel. So I think, they're a band, they're an established band, and, like, if you do well, it's like, yay! And then the record label wants you to put out another one, and it's got to be really, really just as good as the other one. And so it creates a lot of pressure on these
100%.
guys to where it's like you started the art to express yourself.
Mm-hmm.
you picked up the instrument to express the pain that you were feeling, but now the instrument itself is what's causing you the pain because now everybody's, they're corrupting it. So it looks like there's some of that going on. He's ready for war to come his way. People trying to bring him down.
Yeah, I didn't think it had anything to do with like the record label. I just thought it was just like life. And how people
True.
I think everybody feels like that. Everybody's like, "Oh shit, it's about to break down on me. Oh, something's about to happen."
Yeah.
What's wrong?
I need something to drink. Yeah.
Okay. So I think everybody kind of feels like that, and like a lot of times people think that they're like singular in pain, but instead of realizing that everybody kind of feels like, a war is either on the way or it already passed, you know what I mean, like, and you're healing from it. So like everybody's kind of in that cycle, but I kind of thought he was like talking about that, but being like, because you do kind of feel alone in your struggles because they are singular. Nobody has experienced life exactly as you have.
Right?
As you, yeah. So it does make things a little bit different, but yeah, I didn't think it was anything in particular, but just and everybody kind of feels that, like, there's like this pressure that's like building, and like certain situations happen, and people will be like, well, you know what, I'm gonna let that one go, and then eventually all of a sudden you get to a point where you're like, and I think that you can only be the nice guy for so long, and then the pressure builds, you know what I mean, like if you're doing the nice guy thing for the wrong reasons, like it there will be a breaking point.
Yep.
That's good.
But it's interesting him talking about living under that kind of pressure. If you could only feel the way I feel, that's something that's like, emotions are so complicated, and we use words to try to approximate how we actually feels.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and the words kind of get you in the universe of the emotion, but they cannot. The very reason we have music is because we recognize that words hit a certain limit.
Yeah, right.
And it's not necessarily just expressing pain, but it's also expressing joy. When you say, like, I'm so happy to have my son, or I love my wife, like, it gives you a concept of what the feeling is, but there's no way to actually describe it. And so there's, that's why I write music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, it's interesting as a musician, like, you have that kind of emotion and feeling about your music, but there's something in his life to where it's like he's been procrastinating. I'm sure you can take this as an FU song, but it could also just be him like smacking himself awake and saying, man, let's go, let's do this. Because he says,
yeah, that's what I thought it was.
He says, I'm betting on the right here, right now. To hell with all the someday somehow. I've waited long enough. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of the thing that got me thinking as far as decisions that we need to make, It's like, I've waited long enough. If you're going to do it, do it. If you're not going to do it, then tell everybody you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
like
I
at some
think,
point, you got to pull the trigger. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I think we were late on it too.
Probably.
So by at least a couple weeks.
Probably.
Yeah, he says down here in verse 2, if you could only see the way that I see, if you could find the faith to take the leap. And then he says, it only took one shot to prove I'm not made of glass. There's no pain you could cause that won't eventually pass. If only you could see the way. So it sounds to me like, like sometimes you're so afraid of like what could happen, and then all of a sudden you're freaking put face to face with it, and you have to go through it because there's no way around it. And then when you get to the other side of it, you're like, yo, okay, I made it through that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then sometimes that kind of sets you up to be like, maybe that other thing is not as bad. Like once you start accumulating these like really situations that you thought were going to be so horrible that you didn't think that you could survive or whatever, you do. But then, I think that situation made him say, you know what, I'm not going to wait on whatever to change me. Like I feel like he was making changes within himself. That's kind of what I was getting in the song. He was making changes in himself by himself. Like he wasn't going to wait on a miracle or wait on anything else to change it. Like he wasn't afraid anymore. That's
why when you're younger, you it's a good time, especially if you have parents or an active parent. It's a good time to like start struggling with stuff. You know, when you're now, I was telling Dorian this last night or this morning, whatever it was. I'm like, you gotta have crisis situations in your life that you got through, so that when you get old, because the older you get, the more is at stake. You know, when you're a kid and you don't listen to your parents, you break some eggs or something, you break the eggs. But when you get older and you don't listen to your
Stakes are
parents,
higher.
you could die in a car accident.
Yeah.
So the older you get, the higher the stakes get. And the people that do really, really good in life are people who are able to look back and say, I already went through some shit and I overcame it. Or it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Hey, I had this situation. I overcame it, blah, blah, blah. So now I'm in prime time. I'm a young adult now. This crisis is happening. I know I'm going to get through it because I've gotten through it before.
Sure.
And it also kind of goes into why I parent the way that I parent. Like, there's got to be some adversity, even if it's manufactured, that the kid is able to get through, so that when you're not around as the parent to motivate them or help them, they can call on that in themselves and in God and say, hey, you were with me during this whole thing. It's very traumatic and terrible, but I made it through. So now here I am. I'm striking out on my own, and I'm terrified about X, Y, Z, but you're going to help me make it through. No weapon formed against me will prosper, right? And so, like, in that line, no weapon formed against me will prosper, is interesting because it doesn't mean that the weapon won't harm you.
That's true.
What it means is that the intention of the weapon is to kill you.
Right.
And in that
And
sense,
it won't
you are
reach full
protected,
strength.
right?
Yeah.
So God is not telling us, like, yo, you'll never run in. I love the song. I love that he quoted that scripture because I'm like, okay, he's got some Bible in it. Because that's like a second degree phrase. Like John 3:16, everybody knows, but like no weapon formed.
That's
very specific, very Pentecostal.
Yeah.
You don't hear anybody else really in Jamaica. I mean, that's just... When I was playing baseball, my mom was like, yes, Vincent, go on. No weapon formed against you will prosper. I'm like, yeah, Mom, like, this baseball game is the equivalent of the Israelites getting taken into captivity. Shout out to my mom.
That's
Definitely
cute.
much more. But yeah, like, it's important to understand that, like, God never promised us, like, yo, it's gonna be easy. And I love the fact that he quoted the scripture and he used some bad words. It's like, yeah, I think God's okay with that. Like the things that people freak out about, God's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
The kid's not perfect, but he knows I'm gonna protect him. I love that. And I love that security in kids. Like you look at Reza and the rest of them, like, they know they're in trouble. They do things every night. They know they're in trouble. And the way he looks at me, he's like, yeah, I did it.
He's
like,
that's exactly the face.
that's how he is. He's like, it was me. I'm like, you're going to get in trouble, right? He goes, yeah. But he has so much, like, he knows how loved he is. He doesn't care. He's like, I'm going to take this time out, whatever it is, and then everyone's going to love me again because I'm Reza. So, like that, he just doesn't care. Like... whatever, he knows he's loved. So
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So damn, I just love this song, man. It was really, really inspiring.
Gosh, yes.
It really inspired you to kind of get up, not feel sorry for yourself, quit the procrastination, and just fucking get on with it. And like it's I love that it says I don't need a miracle, because like you could take that in a lot of ways. You could take that as a person being arrogant and saying they don't need God. But he didn't say I don't need God. He said I don't need a miracle. And then later in the song, he quotes, no weapon formed against me will prosper, which is God's promise to protect. So he's not saying I don't need God. He's saying I don't need a miracle. Those are two different things.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is very simple. There was one time Jesus showed up to a guy and the guy was terrified. And Jesus told the guy, look, I need you to go out and go to jihad because the Midianites are fucking everybody up. So I need you to you take care of them. And the dude is like terrified. He's like scared to death.
Yeah.
And Jesus looks at the guy and says, go in the strength you have. Am I not sending you? In other words, you have enough strength. You don't need like the seat apart and all the rest of it. Like, you're going to be okay. Like, I've given you a certain amount of strength and I'm the one that's sending you out.
You have enough.
You have enough.
Yeah.
So whenever you're, transitional periods in your life where you're moving out of mom and dad, striking out on your own, maybe considering going to college, becoming a father for the first time. All these things are full of the unknown when you transition. And so you got to have a way underneath all of that anxiety. There's sort of like this bedrock under the surface where you know that you're loved and that you're looked after. And so you just go for it, right? And you don't necessarily need a miracle. You can simply say, God's given. It looked like he's saying, "Hey, I've got this talent. I've got an iron will because I've been through things before. So now I know I'm going to get through this thing. I'm a musician. This is what I'm going to do, and nobody's going to stop me. And I'm not going to stop myself. I'm not going to procrastinate. I'm going forward." Like, unbelievable song.
When he said don't need a miracle, like I thought he didn't say I don't want a miracle. So I felt like that there was like even still some hope in that he would even want a miracle, but he said I don't need one, because I thought that was interesting in the sense of, because sometimes if people are waiting on a miracle, they won't move. Like, you know, I told you guys before about that lady that somebody from my college was going to visit, and she had cancer, and she wouldn't go see the doctors. And she was like, no, I'm waiting for a miracle. God's going to heal me. God's going to heal me. And they were like, well, maybe like God made it so that way you could go to that hospital. And she was like, no. And she kept waiting. Well, she ended up having to have her arm amputated. It was bad. It got really, really bad. And, but she kept waiting on that miracle when it wasn't coming like that. So you sometimes, like, if you wait on a miracle, it's basically you're not doing anything, and you're actually not saving you're not doing what you could do, you know? So when he said, I don't need a miracle, to me, it was like, he's not waiting on that anymore. He's going to move forward. If a miracle comes, great. If one doesn't come, he's still going in a forward trajectory. And,
yeah. And you know, there's that thing about, like, people, and I think this is probably mostly the fault of maybe religious people, that the only time that God acts in the world is miraculously. So they don't see God in the water cycle.
yeah.
They don't see God in a scab.
The healing process, yeah.
The healing process for a scab.
Yeah.
But like I said, like, God's you know, the theologians say his normal operations. You know, we don't talk about that. But from a Christian worldview, literally every atom, every molecule, every breath, all of that is superintended in the mind of God. As the scripture says, in him we live and move and have our being.
Yeah.
And so, because we think that God's operations in the world only count if they're, quote, supernatural, which supernatural is not a biblical term. It's not something I believe in. We could talk about that another time. They miss out on what the theologians called, like, you know, favorable providences. So, for example, it's a famous story. The guy's in the stuck in the ocean, and he goes, "God, give me a miracle!" And there's like a log that floats by, and somebody's on the log and says, "Come on, I've been on this thing for hours. We're gonna live." And the guy goes, "No, it's okay. I'm waiting for the miracle." So then the guy's like, "God, give me a miracle." And then there's like this boat that comes around and says, "Hey, we've been picking stuff up. We just picked up your friend that's on the log. Come on the boat." And the guy goes, No, I'm waiting for a miracle." Well, obviously the guy drowns. And the guy shows up in heaven, and there's 3 people there. So he looks at Jesus, he goes, "Why did you fail me?" And Jesus said, "I don't know, bro. I sent this kid over here on a wood thing to you. I sent this guy on a barge. And you wouldn't listen. What do you want me to do?" It sounded to me like you wanted to come home, so I took you home. Like, God's miracles, the term miracle and all the rest of it, like, that's not the only way God operates in the world. He's there at every childbirth delivering a baby. He's there at every hospice situation, like, making it easier for the person to transition. Like, God is in everything. He's in the he's in the scab of you know, the platelets and all those things. Like, he's doing that in a Christian worldview. It's not like he, you know, that's deism, where he kind of set things in motion and then just kind of observes everything. So, yeah, I love the song.
Oh, me too.
Really,
me too. This
really
is
good song.
11. This is an 11 for me. Like, the sound was like just right there where I wanted it. Everything was perfect. It went from the hard, the heavy, and then it kind of went out smooth and got like kind of cool. Like,
yep.
Oh, it was just such a perfect. It was the perfect song.
And
then when he got to that part, you're right. "No weapon formed against me shall prosper." It was just ridiculous.
Done.
It was over. And then I saw, you know, "My will is stronger." That was just a little bit ridiculous to me, so I just changed that. "Your will is stronger." And I'm like, oh my God, it was was so crazy. And then after you change, well, after I changed that lyric, and then it was like stronger, and then he says, "Wait, I don't know."
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy.
It's just the best.
We can flip him the other
Maybe do
way.
it this way. Yeah. What's up, everybody?
I can help you if you need help. So anyway, it's a
10.5. Do something with this guy. I give this one a 10.5. What's up, Becky? Really love the
Hi,
song.
Becky.
Love the lyricism. Love the positive message. See, that's not going to work because this is where it's getting all of our stuff from. So,
okay. I'll figure it out.
all right. Vin out.
Story out.
Gone.